I might as well tweet it out too.
You guys are so quick as well with the treasure hunts. I can't even. We
hit it. The last one I was like, let's make it harder. Like, I'm going to embed like this sneaky little binary code in the picture. No one's going to be able to see it. And then,
and they're going to spend hours typing it out. We're like, oh, the binary code. They're going to spend so long doing that. Like 30 minutes later. You guys are great. It's good. It's keeping us on our toes. Congratulations to our winners.
Yeah, we've had some really cool stuff going on in the last week or so.
I love the assimilated. I'm going to buy them all.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about those ones. Some of the other mutant classes as well are really cool. There's one in particular I can't wait till it comes out and y'all can see it.
We can probably start to kick in. Those latecomers will have to miss out on the alpha.
All right, let's get some hands up.
Let's give a little bit of an update.
Yeah, do a bit of an update first.
So, as you know, we've had a pretty big week again, and all leading up to next week, the engineering team has been testing the minting site to make sure that it goes off without a hitch, and busy working in the background to make sure that's a smooth process and secure process. We announced the minting day last week, and now I'll let you all know what the time will be. We're just tried to line things up as much as we can with the majority of our Discord members across the time zones. So it will be on the 20th at 3 p.m. PDT, Pacific Daylight Time, and NZDT, that is 11 a.m. on the 21st for the minting time. This we'll put up an official announcement around that as well. But it's this video will go out on Monday, I believe. It's usually the day that it goes out. So pop that in your calendars, and we look forward to seeing you all there on minting day. Cool. And as I think we've started to... Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so just so that everyone's super crystal clear on the process. So next, when this mint event happens, what you're minting is the toy box. And the toy box is your pass to creating your Aether characters and unlocking your Aether Genesis brain. So there's two separate kind of events, if you will. The one is creating minting the boxes, and that's where you kind of get your assigned, randomly assigned toy box from kind of standard through to the ultras. And that's like a pass or a ticket, which lets you unlock different features in the character creation application. So that application will be published sometime down the track after the mint. They're not happening on the same day, and you can think of the toy box as your ticket to the character creation application. So once you get that, it will determine what kinds of assets you're allowed to create, which rare categories you have access to, which special items you have access to, all of those kinds of things. But there are two separate events. And the reason for that is to make sure that when the character creation goes live, everyone's got the chance to think about how they assemble their characters rather than having to rush because they're afraid that they'll miss out on a mint. So once you get your box, you can be sure you'll be able to go through that character creation process and mint the characters, but take your time doing it.
Yeah, and when you consider that there's going to be 40,000 characters and 10,000 brains minting at the same time, it makes a lot of sense to do that in a asynchronous process.
Cool. We've got a couple of requests.
Hello?
Hey, welcome.
Hey, how you going?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, I have a question.
Fire away.
Go for it.
Go.
Oh, we lost you there.
Feel free to put your hand up again. I can invite you back up later. Square Bear, I've invited you up.
Hey there. Am I live?
Hey,
Yes.
yeah, welcome.
Amazing.
Welcome.
I'll kick us off. Thanks. Yeah, great to connect with you all, and congrats on an exciting week. So, lots of talk about what life is going to look like in the metaverse, all really exciting stuff. But was curious how you're thinking about live events and music festivals and maybe getting people together in real life in the future.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, this, assimilation, let's call it, between the metaverse and the real world is going to spark some interesting opportunities. Like one thing we've been thinking about and talking with artists around is the idea of virtual artists. And so that could show up in the form of, let's say your favorite DJ trains an altered state machine to play a set like they would play or to produce music like they would produce. And then they sell NFTs of themselves so they can kind of have this digital twin DJ that exists out there. Or you could show up at a party with a screen or some AR experience, and that virtual DJ could be playing at that party or that concert. So I think that's the kind of thing that could be quite interesting to do as a way to bring events and music in the meet space into the meta space.
Amazing. Thanks, Aaron, and thanks for all of your work, team.
Yeah, cool, man.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
Hey, nice to have you. Invited you back up.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Yes.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's weird. It's like I can't hear anybody, but I guess I can talk. I'm not sure, but I can't hear you
We
guys.
can hear you.
The question is how many are going to be minted and what's the cost going to be? Also, I am whitelisted from the fluff, so I think I get one. How many are not? How many are going to be available that aren't whitelisted for the public sale?
Cool. So the price is going to be 0.09 ETH for the box, which contains the 4 characters and 1 brain. There's going to be a total supply of 10,000 of them. And if you had a fluff at the time of the snapshot, then you're already whitelisted, yes.
Okay.
And we haven't got the final tally on all of the whitelisted people yet.
Yeah, I think the thing is that the number of people on the whitelist doesn't always equal the number of mints on the whitelist event. So we can't tell you exactly how many will be available after the whitelist because we don't know who's going to actually show up. I mean, we assume everyone will because that'd be the smart thing to do, but you can't guarantee it.
How many were from the fluffs? Was it everyone who had a fluff were able to get it? Or?
Yeah, every fluff wallet is able to be on the whitelist.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. And what was the pricing for the mint?
0.09.
Okay, cool.
ETH.
I'm really excited, guys. Thank you for everything.
Thanks, man.
Thanks
Cheers.
so much.
Awesome. Thanks, bro.
He who shall not be named.
Hello.
Please, no
Hi.
questions about Carmen.
Welcome back.
Oh, hello. Okay, so I'm first things first, just to get out of the way. I think you should definitely NFT the Carmen emoji and David with the emotions. There's something there. Okay, so
Thanks.
just encourage you to take a look at that. You know, we love it. You know, the original members. Just a curious question. I understand all about the mint, and I couldn't quite understand you on the 21st. What was that second mint going to be?
So
We haven't set the date for the second mint yet. Oh, you mean like
yeah.
the Whitelist versus main event, or you mean like the unboxing event?
I think that's what you meant. Yeah, it was when you were giving the initial announcement today, you know, in the beginning of the AMA. I think maybe the public mint is the next day, or?
No, the public mint will be 2 hours later. So we reckon that 2 hours is probably a good enough time for the whitelist to form an orderly queue and mint within that time without too much gas spike. And then 2 hours later at 5 p.m. PDT, the public mint will kick off.
Okay, cool. And you should do like a mandatory public viewing of like Altered Carbon, so these guys know how sick these sleeves and everything's going to be. All right. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, all of you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, bro.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Good to see you again.
Yep. Bye.
Hey, Danny C. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, so I just had a quick question to see how much information you can give us on the ASTO farming, if that's developed at all or anything like that.
Yeah, so actually the smart contracts are developed and going through audit process. The details of the pools will probably release after the first the toy box drop next week, but before the character unboxing, so somewhere in the middle of there. And the plan for that is to have a bunch of assets which you can yield farm ASTO with. And so those assets in the pools against those assets we'll announce after the NFT drop next week, sometime after.
Okay, great.
So that will get you that'll get you the ASTO tokens, and then, or as they start to trade, you can obviously acquire them there. And then the next phase after that will be the staking for new Genesis brains. Sorry, not
Awesome.
Genesis brains, new brains.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Non-Genesis brains. That's it.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, just
Thanks,
on that, like
welcome to
some
the
of the communities that we interact with already, you'll probably know that we're close to. You'll see pools for those assets, because we want to really bring in the communities from both our adjacent friendly projects, as well as some of our early contributors who have metaverse assets too. So we try and make it as easy as possible for people to get in there and farm the ASTO tokens and connect those communities to ASTO.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Till. Hey, bro. How you going?
I'm good. I just had a brain thing that's freaking me out. Are you hinting that we might be able to stake our fluffs and farm Astos? Because you said Asto.
Yeah. So not the fluffs themselves, but projects that we're kind of adjacent to that have fungible tokens. So let's say an example, which would be an alpha leak, but say the XYZ token, you could stake that and get ASTO tokens.
Will we also be able to stake like ETH and get Asto tokens?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. ETH, okay. USDC, those ones I don't feel bad about leaking, but yeah, the full list will be out after the mint next week.
Okay, cool. And next question, this was like why I originally raised my hand. Do you think it's going to be possible, because let's say you train a brain to be a DJ, you create the same DJ avatar body. So let's say you have Barry Corsten, right? and he's DJing and he trains the brain to DJ. Technically, could you have two fairy coursons, one DJing, one walking through the crowd, and he can move from like autopilot AI mode to actually DJing mode and switch between both?
I think technically it's possible, yeah.
All right, because that sounds fucking cool.
That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
play with your digital twin in a set against your digital twin in a set. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be rad. All right, cool. That's all, guys. Thank you so much for
Thanks.
everything you do, as always.
Thanks, Frank.
Cheers, man.
Cool.
You
Thanks
too.
so much, man. Hey, ZG. Welcome to the stage.
Guys, thanks for having me. Congrats. I'm excited for the launch. I had 2 questions. I don't want to jump the gun here, so I might be, so just bear with me. But as my understanding goes, we'll need 1 brain to control 4 of the AFA NFTs. So again, I might be jumping the gun here. I'm trying to think.
Yeah. It's one brain per AFA.
Okay, 1 brain per AFA, and once we stake our Genesis, we'll be able to buy the other brains.
Buy or farm.
Yes?
Yeah, buy or farm. So you can take the Asto token and then stake it, and that staking will yield you brains. Brain farming.
Okay, so then my next question would be, okay, so that one was answered. My next question would be, there's obviously a Genesis brain, and then there's a different brain that will receive by staking. So hypothetically, besides the programming that we would do for the brain itself, the training, what are the benefits of owning one or the other besides owning the Genesis versus the next model?
Unrevealed yet, but you definitely want a Genesis one.
Okay. All right.
All right,
yeah, I
but
appreciate
there's something
you guys.
very cool coming up for the specifically the Genesis brains.
Okay, great. So I touched on something good. I'll keep that in mind.
Cool. Thanks, bro.
Trying to get those alpha leaks out of it. Hey, 0 Woman 0.
Hello.
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 Hey, there you go. You there?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we can hear you.
Hey there, what's your question?
No, can't.
Yep.
How's it going?
Maybe you can't hear us. If you can, you're welcome to post your question in the text channel if you're having some technical issues, and we can answer it there. All right. One more hand up, Amir A. Inviting you up to the stage.
Hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so this may be a stupid question or something you may have answered before, but once we get the box, how do we train the different characters? And then is there any advantage or is there any benefit to having more than one box? Or is that just going to be very difficult to train, 8, 12, 16, whatever, however many boxes you have characters?
Yeah, so the boxes unlock 4 characters in one brain. So each box contains 1 Genesis brain. If you have more boxes, you will have more Genesis brains. So that's kind of one of the advantages. You'll also get more players for the game. Training is application dependent, but in the case of the AFA game, play to earn game, it happens inside the game environment. So from a user's perspective, it's as hard as pressing a button that says train. So you don't really have to think too much about it. Developers can come up with different kinds of training environments for the brains, but in AFA, we're making it super simple for everyone.
Can you be training more than one character at one time? So like if you do have multiple boxes and you have, 4x, whatever, however times characters, are you able to train more than one at a time?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. That was
They
it.
tra-
Thank you, guys.
They actually train as a team in APA, so they learn how to work together.
Got it.
Hmm.
And multiple teams can train at once.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
Yeah, there's no
stop
reason
that.
why not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to
Cheers.
it.
Thanks
so
very
much. Hey, London Capital, welcome.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yo. Sorry, I'm probably going to be that guy that asks you a question that you've already answered, but how soon can we start staking or providing liquidity?
Hey there.
Sorry, so are you there?
Yeah. Sorry, I think you cut
sorry,
off at the end there.
Yeah, sorry, man. My timer went out.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I've got a social timer. I just got to control how long I stay on social media.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, especially when you guys start launching your products, man. Anyway, moving forward. How long? So how soon can we start providing liquidity to then start earning ASTO tokens to then obviously get brains?
Yeah, so the idea is to launch liquidity mining between the launch next weeks of the toy box and the unboxing event for the toy box. So
sweet.
so the idea is you'll have some ASTO ready to go and farm with as soon as you have unboxed your characters.
Sweet. What's that time frame?
We haven't announced that yet, but it's all before Christmas. Yeah.
Oh no, exciting. That's fantastic. Awesome. Sweet. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Congo, I've invited you up to the stage. Actually, also invites up to all three of you. Just if I invite you up and there's others ahead of you, just please stay muted until it's your turn. Hey, Wiki, welcome to the stage.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not sure if you already answered this question. Is this all going to be on layer 1 or on layer 2 or sidechain?
So the NFTs initially, the primary assets are on layer 1 and the DAO and tokens on layer 1. But as we build out different use cases, the protocol's designed to be chain agnostic. It's like kind of in the way that I guess Chainlink is. So we'd expect things like play to earn gaming, for example, not to be on layer 1 because that creates a barrier to the economics of the game with gas fees and stuff like that. So there'll be a kind of blended architecture between layer 1 and layer 2s, depending on the type of application.
So is that something you've already decided? Like what? Sort of? Is that public or no?
Which specific chains?
As in where the
the layer ones on the layer ones on ETH.
Oh no. The layer 2s and all the play to earn stuff.
Not public information yet. But as the protocol rolls out, we expect that's something that proposals to the DAO will be made on, and the community can vote to make those extensions too.
Right. So for the maybe the next 6 months, it's mostly going to be on layer 1 Ethereum.
I think 6 months might be too long a time frame before we extend, because there are certain applications we want to use that that we need the kind of lower latency, lower gas for within 6 months.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, it's a really important thing. Like, we want a lot of the decisions about how we roll out the protocol to come from the community. Obviously, we'll make some early decisions ourselves until that governance is bootstrapped. But if people want to propose their favorite network to be extended to, then get involved with the governance processes and make sure you've got plenty of voting power to influence those processes.
Hey, Congo. Welcome.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Yes. Go ahead when you're ready.
If we're talking, if you are talking, we can't hear you now.
No, still nothing.
Nope. Just really quickly, the creative content competition will be wrapping up in the next 30 minutes or so. So if you still want to post a meme and get on the whitelist, then this is your chance.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Congo. Are you there?
Do we have any other question requests? I'll let you up on the stage while Congo gets his mic sorted. There's a question in the text channel for you guys from old Greg.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So the question reads, had to jump off the AMA before, could I ask my questions, but will the AP game exist on a layer 2 type solution to minimize top transaction costs? We think we covered that in the last question. The second is, I don't fully understand how player traits like speed and strength and agility are stored. Are these all aspects of the brain composition? And would that mean 2-player NFTs would perform exactly the same if the same brain is injected into them? Obviously not at the same time. So yes. Correct. The brain is what controls the character. And in AFA, it might be that other games choose to have a combination of effects that are driven by the form itself and the brain. Those are possible outcomes, and some interesting ideas around how you could use the form to modify what happens in a game environment alongside what the brain does in that environment. But for AFA, the brain is what drives the actions and activity of the form. So if you had 2 characters and you stuck the same brain into them at different times, they would perform the same way. But no 2 brains are alike. So if you have 2 brains, they're going to behave differently.
Yeah.
There's another question there, which is, what's the total number of ASTO tokens? Dave, do you have it at the top of your head?
It is hang on. The billions, where the billions go confuses me once again.
There are billions. I've got the token here.
2,384,000,000. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a very scientific number, I must say.
Yeah. It's maybe a little Easter egg in that one.
Definitely scientific. Hey, Andrew Hollywood's welcome to the stage.
Hello, thank you for inviting me. My question is, if I have maybe 4 3D avatar NFTs in a metaverse, and I try to start a business, and I want to use them as like colleagues for my business while I'm maybe offline to check in customers while I'm not there. Is it possible to let them all do the same duty with the Genesis brain?
Yeah, so you could develop an application where you've got multiple avatars using the same brain. Kind of like a hive mind type scenario in the Borg on Star Trek. You could definitely do that and have them in different locations, but all think the same thing.
That's great.
Yeah. Or you could have, you know, a single agent that's, you know, at the storefront at different times of the day that uses the same brain. So you could have like, you know, character 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1 does the morning shift and 2 does the afternoon shift, but they share the same brain.
That's, you know what, this is such a great project, and I mean, this is, I think, the missing piece, and I want to know how this works. If I have a brain, maybe more advanced than a new one, and I want to put them in and out, is this with gas fees, or how to equip?
No. Yeah, so equipping's done in the application environment, and it doesn't require gas.
That's great. I don't know.
As long as you have both the assets in your wallet, of course.
Of course. Yeah. And another one I wanted to know, because I was not able to read all the stuff while I'm working. Is there upcoming launchpad for the Astro token, or is it how to buy it?
Yeah, it's yield farming to start off with. So there'll be yield farming pools set up sometime between the original, so the Genesis drop next week, and the unboxing event. The yield pools will go live.
So this is the way to go with yield farming with Ethereum, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Ethereum, and we'll announce the different pools in the next wee while.
So you made me happy.
Cool.
I'm in Germany. I have to go to bed soon, but I will definitely dream about it.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Thank you
for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Hey, Teal, welcome back.
It's such a beautiful thing. Somebody says you make happy in such a playful way.
Yeah, thanks. I love it. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So the unboxing, maybe I misunderstood. It's happening the 21st, 24 hours after, or that was the public sale?
No.
The rest of them.
Yeah. So to be really, really clear, you buy your box on the 20th PST. So 20th or 21st? 20th
PST. Yeah.
And
PST.
PD. That minting event has two stages. Stage 1 is the whitelist, and then 2 hours later, stage 2 is the public. And then sometime after that, which is a date we haven't announced, you'll be able to unbox your Genesis box and make your characters.
Okay.
So they're on 2 separate events.
Do we have to mint during the whitelist event, like during those 2 hours, or it can be done afterwards as well?
If you don't mint if you don't mint during the 2 hours, then there's a risk that all the toy boxes will be sold in the main sale.
Okay, so it'll be like an exciting event where you put everything else aside just to be there and mint this. It'll be fun. Cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Great. Do we have any other questions from our audience? Feel free to plug them in the text channel too, and we can read them off. Otherwise, we might be wrapping up early today.
So we've got another in the Ask Us Anything. Will mint occur on the AFA website? Yes. So there's a special website being built specifically for the minting that we won't release ahead of time until just before the minting starts, to avoid people from creating bots and things like that and scraping the website data. Will we know the box rarity upon mint? Yes, so we've got the 4 box rarities, and they'll be revealed on or shortly after the minting, so you can look them up on OpenSea. and see what you got. What was the next one? Protocol solution.
Yes, so basically your answer to your question is yes, the protocol is designed to be able to take existing artificial intelligence agent models and do the proof of ownership with those models. So APE is just the first example of us kind of building the tools to show people how to do this. But those architectures and SDKs will be available to any developer to come up with their own application environment or model environment and apply an existing trained intelligence to it, or train something novel using the genome matrix.
Cool. We've got a couple of hands up now. Hey, welcome back to NEC.
Hey, thanks for giving me another crack here. So I was just kind of curious to see how you all think about Alethea, which I've seen, and I haven't dug into it, but I was just wondering how you guys think about their project and maybe and stuff
I mean,
like
I think it's kind of interesting in some ways, because they're at the superficial level, they're trying to kind of connect NFTs to intelligence, but without kind of being dark. I think they're more focused on the AI side than they are on creating a protocol for ownership of NFTs and ownership of intelligence with NFTs. And what we did is you've seen blockchain go through these different phases, right? 2017, it was like every man and his dog had this idea, but on the blockchain, and it was just kind of this superficial thing about everything could be done there and it was good for everything. And then people figured out, actually, no, there's only some quite specific things that blockchains are good at. And then we kind of got some good protocols out of that. And then we have the same thing happen with NFTs. It's like, oh, NFTs, okay, like this picture, but an NFT. And that was kind of like the phase one. But now phase two is coming around. People are thinking about, well, what's unique about blockchains that makes building an NFT as a content medium a better place to do it with things that are more interesting to do with. And that's where you get things like Fluff World, right? Where we're creating this kind of dynamic meta game of content. And I think maybe the comparison is similar here, where we've kind of gone that next level of detail behind let's slap intelligence with an NFT and thought about what's the Lego brick that's going to enable intelligence to exist in the metaverse, and what's going to make that unique. And that's where you get the two bits, this proof of ownership part of the protocol, and then the second part, which is this genome matrix. The genome matrix is really important because otherwise what you end up with is kind of almost zero sum, this very kind of bland experience where agents tend to arrive at similar outcomes given similar problems to solve. Whereas the genome matrix mixes it up and creates lots of vibrancy of agents in the metaverse, but also adds that kind of gamification layer, which is that I get the right traits in my brain and those kinds of things. So I think like while what they're doing is interesting, we're trying to do something quite different. And maybe we'll work together. I think that door's definitely open, and what they're doing, in the chatbot space, could be interesting, although they're using GPT-3, which isn't exactly open source. So I don't think you can actually own a GPT-3 in the same way that you could, say, an APA agent. But I'm sure they've got that on their roadmap to resolve. And, blockchain space is really great because people get to innovate together, and it's not really, I don't see it as a competitive environment. It's kind of like we're all building the future together, and we do some things that are cool, you do some things that are cool, and let's work together to make them even cooler.
Yeah, 100%. Echo you on that last point. Thank you very much for that response.
No worries. Cheers.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks so much for your questions. We have Trevin here. I've invited you up. Hey, Trevin, welcome.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. I don't exactly have a specific question. It's more just if you guys could expand on just the general concept of these AI agents as like branded characters and kind of your long-term view on the potential for that. You guys have referenced like the Dota 2 OpenAI project, and I found that really interesting because there's just this switch that seems to flip in your brain when you see these intelligent agents acting, and you really ascribe agency to them in your brain.
Yeah.
I imagine once you attach a name to that and it exists in some persistent form in the metaverse, that there could really be some long-term potential for that. So just curious your guys' long-term thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, like if you look at our roadmap, like the 3 areas that we find interesting is, first of all, is this game and metaverse space. And you can imagine for stars emerging as stars, and they might be owned by a DAO or some kind of other protocol community, and have some kind of individual, fandom built around those players. Whether it's that game or whether it's other games, could be a shooter game, for example. Then you've got kind of DeFi, where less kind of personality, I guess, in finance, but you could see some superstar DeFi trading bots that become personalities in their own right. Remember, an agent brain or a brain can have more than one skill. So you could give your trading bot a trading skill, but also a personality to talk to people who it kind of provides facility for. We're already talking to some protocols out there about this kind of idea of an altered state machine ATM, or kind of an interface to interact with DeFi as a virtual banker. So imagine these kinds of things will kind of grow out of it. And then on the kind of digital human side of things, now in conversations with, I would say 4 of the top digital humans companies in the world, and I think again there's really huge opportunities there to provide agency, but more importantly ownership to those digital twins for communities or individuals who kind of use their data to train them and create the agent itself in a way that means that they have genuine ownership of the agent. So yeah, I think like really, really lots of interesting ways to think about agency. And I imagine people will become quite attached to some of the personalities that spawn out of Altered State Machine.
Definitely very interesting. Thanks for answering.
Thanks so much for coming on stage. I think we've had a couple of questions pop up in Ask Us Anything.
Yeah. So have you guys thought of incentive programs using ASTO to bring existing AI projects into the ASTO network? So yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I would really like to see happen is things like game jams, where we invite indie developers to come and enter in a time-based competition where they can build out some POCs on using the protocol, and to reward those with ASTO would be really good. We've set aside ecosystem development funds in the DAO for the DAO participants to vote on the use of those, specifically for these kinds of things. And I think AI project one would be awesome as well. So maybe like a chatbot competition or something like that would be really cool. But we expect to get proposals come through the DAO for those sorts of things, which the community can then go ahead and vote on.
Awesome. Hey, SBS7T, welcome to the stage.
Thank you. You guys can hear me okay? Just making sure.
Yep.
Cool. I've got one very selfish question, and then one question that isn't selfish but may have been answered already. The first selfish question is: you said the 20th PST for the mint. Can I make an assumption that it's going to be the 21st NZDT, and therefore might have to set my alarm a little bit early, or maybe just block my calendar to be able to make sure that I can make that mint.
Yes, so it'll be in New Zealand daylight savings time. It'll be 1 p.m. on the 21st, and then PDT will be. Sorry, that's for the public sale. The whitelist sale will be 11 a.m. on the 21st, and then 3 p.m. PDT on the 20th. If that makes sense.
Marvelous. Cool. It does make total sense. Yeah, thank you.
Good.
The non-selfish question.
We'll put in the announcements channel like a summary of each of the major time zones.
Yeah.
So that people know what it is in their local time.
But Thursday is now completely blocked out, so that's good.
Awesome.
The next thing is about the format of the games. Being from England and not really being a football fan, but I'm intrigued by the fact that if we've got 10,000 boxes, that then means 10,000 teams, which means that on the assumption that it's 2 teams per game, you've got 5,000 simultaneous games. Have you given some thought? And I know you have. I'm just interested to understand length of games. I'm assuming you win by scoring more than the other team does, and therefore points and rounds and leagues and ladders and all that sort of stuff that goes into it, and whether it's regionalized based around countries or Southern Hemisphere, Northern Hemisphere, and that sort of stuff. What's the format going to be like?
Yeah, so this is all sort of going through the game design process at the moment. As for the amount of players, starting off with 10,000 teams seems like a pretty good number. We'll have to have mechanics that the community can vote on in the DAO as the player base grows. That makes it valuable for Genesis owners to allow more players into the game. I'm sort of going to leave it there without dropping too much alpha around that.
Fair enough. Yep.
But we obviously hope that the game grows well beyond 10,000 players. The mechanics around the actual game itself. So where we're at so far is it's sort of a worldwide competition. We're looking at sort of leagues, like you mentioned as well, and leaderboards, and then potentially out of those leagues we have sort of big metaverse broadcast finals and things like that. But we will be starting off with functionality and grow on that functionality as we go along, and we'll be directed by the community on where that sort of goes.
Cool. And you've just triggered a follow-up question, which will be, we've seen when you release the pictures to be able to do the content creation, the memes and so on. One of them was an image of a stadium.
Yes.
Let's say I don't make the final. Can I send my team to the final to watch it? So that they can
we're working on something very cool there, but we can't talk about it.
Right. I'll stop answering questions then. That's fine. Yeah, that's great. Thanks very much, Nova. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Okay, just a few more questions in the text channel.
All right. Yeah, I think we do need like a metaverse time, Mr. Erdian. That would be a good idea. Yeah.
The metaverse time is just GM.
Yeah. For those who aren't coders, can we also build bespoke use cases with our brain? You can interact with use cases, and I think this is more of a general programming question. I think we're starting to see more and more levels of abstraction with tools, programming tools. You look at some of these new sort of game development platforms coming out where they're zero code environments, and you can sort of drag and drop and use the visual editor and sort of node-based editing tools to create sort of little game experiences. And if you want to sort of abstract that out even further, you look at games like Minecraft, for example. That's actually sort of a level of abstraction on its own, where you create your own world and you can program little things within that world and basically make your own game out of it. So I think as the metaverse evolves, we'll see more levels of abstraction where people can create their own sort of custom experiences without having to have a PhD in artificial intelligence and machine learning. And we're already starting to see those tools emerge. As for the AFA game, you don't need to be a programmer to get into that. The training is literally just click of a button. Should be 12 noon PST unless it's -8. Unless we've been saying PST, but you're right, it is PDT at the moment, and it is NZDT for daylight savings here as well, not NZST. So we'll make sure all the info that we send out about that is updated correctly.
Yep, on it.
Cool.
Okay, any last questions?
So what's the best estimate on when the game will be released? Q1 22 is the best estimate right now. Tell me a bit more about the brain farming mechanics. So you'll need to stake the ASTO token, and we'll be supplying brains to the community to make sure there's a good amount of brains for all the use cases that come up as the community grows. And that supply and demand will be controlled by the DAO. So, for instance, if we imagine the ASM universe in a vacuum where just AFA exists, we would need a supply of over 40,000 brains by the time that game is launched. So we need to make sure that the protocol can provide those. But if we imagine it doesn't exist in a vacuum, like it doesn't, other use cases, like from our friends at Fluff and other partnerships that we're making and have made already, will require supply of brains. So we need to make sure that the DAO has good enough control over that mechanic to ensure the supply meets the demand. What programming skills will we need to build something awesome with our brain at Genesis? Thinking out part with my code friends. Actually, the experiences are you can build some really, really, really awesome stuff with some just basic skills. Like if you look into like a game, like a really easy game engine like Unity, it's got some really good machine learning support that you can start to build out a 2D game or a 3D game or a whole bunch of experiences with that platform and create something really fun. You can go into more complex stuff, but there's a whole bunch of platforms out there where you can inject some really simple machine learning logic into that just creates a really awesome experience. So if I were you, I'd probably maybe target somebody with some Unity experience to start playing around with it and seeing what comes out the other end to get you started. How involved is Delphi Digital with the tokenomics? Very. We're consulting with them on those at the moment.
Hey, the studio. Welcome to the stage.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
I have a couple questions. but mainly wanted to give you props. Sounds like you guys are like taking on everything from like Roblox to maybe simple office tasks and MicroStrategy and all sorts of things. So just very mad vision, and I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
but also like not taking them on, like giving them something new that they can do.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a collaboration. Like, I mean, the decentralized aspect of it is amazing.
I'll tell you what Roblox could do with some transparency in their processes. And that's obviously you get that with
like
blockchain.
Like having children use it and stuff. I think transparency needs to be paramount.
I agree, 100%. Yeah.
My question was, do we get to sub mid-game? Like if I had an Octopus Prime and I knew he can do a little bit better than someone else, can I sub him in? Or her, or whatever that is?
It's a good question.
It is a good question.
What gender are Octopus Primes?
Yeah, well, I think they're genderless.
Yeah, I think octopi generally are genderless, or they can. I think it depends on temperature, maybe like turtles or something. Who knows? Who keeps like?
Who knows? Who really knows these things at the end of the day? That's an interesting mechanic. I think initially the games are quite short in the proof of concept. As I said earlier, we're going through that game design process now for the production game. To sort of determine how long they're going to be. I think people are going to want to get in and out relatively quickly in a casual gaming manner, and that will come out in play testing. It is an interesting mechanic, though, and if we sort of look at potentially different kinds of AFA games and tournaments, there might be mechanics for longer games. That are more sort of cinematic and closer to sort of the esports kind of experience, where people sit down and watch them play out over a longer period of time. That's an interesting mechanic to explore. One I'll definitely be wanting to do.
Awesome, thanks, guys.
All good.
Can't wait to get a brain and play out AFA and maybe train it in chess to beat Alpha Zero. Stockfish one day.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, even chess formats like that would be interesting because, once the difference, I think, with the altered state machine in a format like chess is the chances of beating that particular AI is going to be quite difficult because it's been optimized to be an absolute beast. But the game of having your agent
has played. Sorry. I'll let you go.
Well, yeah, I mean, the meta game of having your agent try and beat another agent at that game, I think, is a cool game. So,
it should
rather
definitely
than
be a chess for us.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Totally. Yeah.
Cool, guys. Thanks, all of your team.
Cool. All right.
All amazing, inspirational. All of those
Cheers,
good
man.
words. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, unless we have some final words, it's almost time to wrap up.
No, I think that's good. We will send some more confirmations of time zones so everyone's kind of on track for the whitelist event and then the main sale mint event next week. But get ready, don't miss out.
Yeah, and just want to thank everybody who participated in the meme competition. I mean, I just love. It's the highlight of my day, getting to scroll through some of these. You guys are just awesomely creative, and I hope most of you get whitelist spots out of it. It's up to Carmen and Nova. I might pop in and give my opinion on it though.
Well, actually, if you guys want to go and vote, because it's up to you guys who wins, really. But we'll have a look through as well. But go and vote with the ASM logo as your reaction for your favorites.
Exactly. It is mostly community vote, but if there's anything that we love, we'll probably give you a spot.
Cool.
Okay,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thank
you.
and girls and others.
They both see the traps. No fool, oh, they want to go back. No fool, oh, they've got a mind track. No fool, oh, it's all a mystery. Let it come and let it be.